to Track Tested Motorsports. My name is Jag and I'm here with Gene and his 911 GT3 RS.
Correct.
And it's a 991.2.
Very good.
So Gene, tell me about why Porsche and why this car?
Well, Jag, this car is really special to me. I started out 30 years ago with a 944. Always wanted to have a Porsche, and opportunity came up to get a 944, and bought that. My wife and I really enjoyed it, and got into autocrossing, got into doing some driver's ed events, and actually took that into PCA club racing. And over the years, went from that 944 to 944, went to a 911 Turbo, a Boxster, and a GT4, and had a GT4 a few years ago, and absolutely loved the car. Did a lot of track days with it. Absolutely wonderful car. But this car was always my dream car. Always wanted another 911, and the GT3 RS really stood out to me. The heritage of this car, the history of this car. It was at the right time. It was the exact right spec that I wanted. With the steels, because I do track events with it. I wanted the steel rotors. Although the Weissach package is very popular, I didn't want that. I didn't want the carbon hood. Even though this has a carbon hood, it's painted carbon hood, I didn't want the exposed carbon. So this was the perfect build for me, all the way down to the interior dowels in the white. So this really has been a dream car for me, and it's been absolutely excellent. I wanted a car that I could take to the track, but still enjoy on the street. And quite frankly, with any Porsche you can do that. Any Porsche you buy, drive it to the track, enjoy it on the track, bring it back home in a great car. But this car here is, I'd say, the closest that you can get to a Porsche factory race car that's still street legal. All of the cars made today, I think, are excellent cars, and you can go to the track with the latest cars, from whether it's a Corvette, a Mustang, BMW, and you're going to do fine at the track. But I think the point is that with the Porsche, you can drive this thing hard at the track, and you can drive it hard for a 2-day event, turn around and bring it home and take it to Cars and Coffee like my son and I did this morning, and it just keeps ticking. These cars are engineered to do that. So the brake systems, the engine, it's all made, it's designed and engineered for that. But yeah, I mean, other cars are going to do fine, but I think for an overall balance of being able to go to the track and driving it on Sunday to a Cars and Coffee.
It's nice to see that it's not a garage queen.
Without a doubt. I think the reason I go to the track at my age with this car is I want to enjoy the capabilities of the car. This is a naturally aspirated 6-cylinder, and it redlines at 9,000 RPM.
Wow.
And if I go out here on the street at 9,000 RPM, I'll end up in jail. So I go to Road America, I'm driving it at 710s. I'm not ashamed. There's guys passing me up there. I've had spec Miata race cars pass because there's better drivers.
Yep.
They handle the turns. I'm not pushing this thing to 1010s in the turns because I want to be able to bring it home. But to be able to go to the track, let this thing ring out, hear it screaming up the front straight at 9,000 RPM is a lot of fun.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about somebody pulling out in front of you and just T-boning.
Exactly.
So tell me about the GT3 RS. I know it's a step up from the GT3. What makes the RS special?
So in the hierarchy of the 911s, you have your regular 911s, and then they make a GT3. The GT3 is a track-oriented 911, and I have several friends that have them, and a great car for on the track as well as the street. The GT3 RS is just a step up from that in terms of the, say, track intensity.
Yep.
For example, the suspension in this car has no rubber bushings. It's all metal. So it's a very firm, very stiff suspension on the track, great track suspension. The motor in this car is actually the same motor that I'm 99% sure is the same motor that's in the 911 Cup cars.
Oh.
So it's just a more track focused car. Some of the things like the vents on here, the vents in the front, all for brake cooling and for aerodynamics, for airflow. For example, the vents here on the fender allow the air pressure to release to keep the front from lifting at speed. The rear wing on it, I'm gonna forget the spec, but I fit 900 some pounds of downforce. It generates at like 130 mile per hour. So it's all about keeping this car pushed down, glued to the ground for the track. The hood is carbon fiber, the fender is carbon fiber, the roof's magnesium, all for weight reduction. Carbon fiber seats, the seats in this are carbon fiber, and they're basically the race buckets, so they really hold you in well. I went a step further and put a cage in it with the harnesses, so the 6-point harnesses really keep you strapped in at the track. So instead of just the seat belt where you're kind of using your knee and your arms to hold yourself in the seat, the harnesses hold you in just a little bit better.
Yeah, I was at Autobahn last week or 2 weeks ago, and I just had your regular seat belt, and my forearms were sore by the end of the day.
Sure.
Just probably holding on to be secure. Well, thanks Gene for inviting us out here and giving us an overview of this beautiful 911